Sir,
दे सकते हैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम especially like it's been a long time to be in communication with my IBA alumni, and it's really a pleasure moment for me to interact with my students after a long time. I can see few like very familiar faces here, although few of the cameras are off. um, I can like see Irfan. His picture is there. So Irfan, pleasure seeing you here. And anyways, like lots of love and thanks to Mia Wakas, in fact, like who made it possible to present our way to US CPA. So let me start. In fact, the thing is that this US CPA is a very important qualification in accountancy profession. This is what like we will be presenting today. It is an orientation session, and in which like we'll be discussing about US CPA, and then we will discuss US CPA qualification path and process of becoming US CPA, uniform US CPA examination, and preparing for US CPA examination through Becker. So here we will explain that why we are saying that the Becker preparation material is better than the other one available in the market. And then we will also discuss the cost of doing the CPA. Well, question arises, why US CPA when like there are so many other accounting qualifications are also available and are very well recognized as well. But when we say US CPA, its recognition is very wide. It is globally recognized, and means like you will get the credibility to go international through this. And you can work anywhere in the any part of the world, in fact. This is the era in which like globalization is there, and multinational entities are working almost in all the countries, and mostly these multinational companies are having their head offices in USA, and mostly are US based organizations. So this is one of the very important reason that the organizations basing in USA, they require their subsidiaries and other entities to prepare financial statements using the US GAAPs. So US CPA is in fact very important in this regards, that those organizations, they hire US based qualification. So US based qualification CPA is the qualification which is their first preference in that scenario when those MNCs are hiring accountants for their organization. And then few MNCs who have raised money from US capital market, they would also be requiring US CPAs for their accounting purposes, and obviously auditors of those MNCs should also be US CPA. So these are in fact the reasons in which like we see mostly why they hire US CPA accountants. And then being a CPA, you have a bigger ocean to swim, and in a way you have unlocked doors to enter into international market. This is not only like the US based organizations who look for the US CPA qualified accountants. Mostly like we see in Middle East and other countries as well, they in fact look for US CPA people. And in the upcoming slide, I'll tell you that why US CPA people are preferred in those countries. And there's a wide array of opportunities that open up to you once you are a qualified CPA. All US corporations having offices in Middle East are keen on hiring the CPAs who are US-based CPAs. So the thing is, why US CPAs preferred over the Pakistani local qualifications? This is a big question that, in fact, put on us, especially when we are the local institute member, since I'm a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Pakistan, and Makbul Sahib is also the member of Institute of Chartered Accountants in Pakistan, as well as the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. So the thing is that a big question is raised on us, that why you, being a Pakistani chartered accountant, are preferring US CPA over the chartered accountant or cost and management accountants, which are like local Pakistan qualifications. So there are a few very important points to discuss over here. That number one, you know that if you want to become a chartered accountant of Pakistan, along with certain other limitations, one of the most bothering thing is that the number of examination paper that a student needs to appear are 21, whereas comparing with that in US CPA, the number of examination paper are only 4. So what we see that here the US CPA in fact focuses on the needful knowledge only. They don't let their students to get involved in other examination papers like economics, like statistics, like behavioral studies. So they only focus on the papers which are in fact are the needful, which are in fact the core areas to be known to the accountants. Then this is less time requiring qualification, in which we can complete our studies. Even passing examination is in between 12 to 18 months. But we have also experienced that there are examples in which smart students, they finish their examination within 3 to 6 months or 8 months period. So this is what astonishing, that people who focus on their studies, they can finish this in say you can 6 to 8 months period, and high probability of passing examination is there. And I guess we have not seen any student who entered into CPA but could not pass. They in fact passed the examination. Then same level of expertise comparing with local qualification is there, and easy to manage your studies along with the work. And this is something very important for the people, for the alumni today we are addressing home, that they are already working. They have either their business, they have their job there, they have their commitments towards their profession. So accordingly, they can manage their studies if they enter into this US CPA. The thing is that the other qualifications are much demanding in terms of the studies, in terms of the time that they would be requiring to prepare their examination. But US CPA, although a few hours discipline you would be requiring to study all this material and to prepare this examination, and to manage your studies for exam focused preparation. But this is something very easy to manage. Then international exposure is there. If we are working for our chartered accountancy in Pakistan or management accountancy in Pakistan, we are not having any exposure of the international scenarios. We do not carry any such interactions are not available when we are having interaction with the foreign people, and the organizations of local experience would be having lesser exposure. So if you are going to sit in the examination of CPA USA, definitely the exposure would be wide. Entry level with maturity, very important thing. We see that in Pakistan, a student after passing his or her intermediate A levels, FA, FSC, etc., can enter into chartered accountancy. The grooming of that young man or the girl who is like ambitious to become chartered accountant is not of that level. But like over here, what we see, the minimum entry level is 4 years graduation or master's degree, or in a way, like you can say completely 16 years of education is required, in which like the minimum criteria is 150 credit hours. So you can imagine the maturity level of the student who is like just qualifying his intermediate FSC, etc., and the maturity level of the student who is entering into this qualification after obtaining 4 years of bachelor's degree or like 16 years of education or master's degree whatsoever. So the maturity level is again a plus based on which like we prefer this US CPA. Then 100% computer-based examination is there. So these are the few points like based on which we say that US CPA is a better option for becoming an accountant or a professional level of auditor, or even like in this profession we see, instead of like studying like in deep and preparing 21 examination, we can just prepare 4 examination for this US CPA and become a qualified accountant. The next is global value. The knowledge of US GAAP and IFRS, both are there. It is not like in chartered accountancy, we have the knowledge of IFRS only, International Financial Reporting Standard, but there we'll be having US GAAP knowledge also. Then only designation to allow accounting practice in USA. No one can enter into USA for their licensure if they want to do public practice there, if they are not US CPA. Highest paid and top role designation in US. Then any company listed on US exchanges plus subsidiaries, they look for US CPA. Then US based companies and organizations operating internationally. Then most respected accounting qualification in Middle East and Far East. You see, if you are US CPA entering into their Middle East for the job, they will welcome you. They really, it is something like embarrassing for us being Pakistani that our branding is not that good. You being like IBItes, you know what is branding. Means like our institutes have not branded their qualifications to that level in Far East or in Middle East countries. So this is a big issue that we are not recognized very well over there. So why not to go for that qualification which has already a good knowledge, or which has already been registered in the minds of the employer? That qualification has a good like welcoming attitude for them, in which like people are mostly get job easily. So qualification passport for person wishing to migrate is there. And then as per AICPA, American Institute CPA, 75% of today's CPAs retiring in next 10 to 15 years time. So this is an opportunity once again for the people to become US CPA and then to qualify this within like a year or two, and to fill that gap which is going to be created in next 10 to 15 years, and becoming CA under this multiple recognition agreement with top international CA bodies is there. In a way, these are in fact the 8 bodies: Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, Ireland, Mexico, Scotland, and South Africa, in which their members can choose to take a simplified version of the international qualification examination of this US CPA. So in fact, this is a good news for those, if you are already holding these qualifications of these institutes, you can very well enter into this US CPA program just by passing this IQEX examination, because these associations are in fact recognized through a mutual recognition agreement, MRA, with NASBA, which is the National Association of State Board of Accountancy. So in fact, what is US CPA and what are the technicalities of US CPA? Now I'm giving hold to Maqbool Saab for the rest of the presentation, and I'll be very much available if any question or anything would be like on me. So Maqbool Saab, please, over to you, sir.
Can you stop your presentation, please?
Ji, sure.
Okay. Share my screen. Right. In my screen can be seen by all of you?
Yes, from my side, Mohammed.
Oh. Let me. Okay. Thank you very much, Mia Saab. I'm grateful for arranging this webinar of very prestigious alumni of IGL Lahore. Let me first talk about a little bit myself, because Mia Saab is well known to you, and therefore he didn't bother to introduce himself, but I need to just talk about a little bit on that. I'm by profession chartered accountant from UK, Canada CPA as well, and chartered accountant, and I'm also chartered accountant of Pakistan. I'm ACCA plus. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, thank you. So, Mia Saab said it's a very top accountancy qualification. I like to say from my side, it's a king of qualification. Let me say that. It's not a qualification of accountancy only, it's a qualification of accountancy, business, and finance. Top qualification of that. I visited US first time in 1990. And I realized when I was visiting the people, when they were asking my profession, so I learned that I could not say myself chartered accountant there, because the equivalent of chartered accountant in UK was the CPA, okay, equivalent to UK qualification. So I start, because when I was saying I'm chartered accountant, no one was understanding. Okay. So when I realized that they don't know the chartered accountancy, so I use the word CPA. So I recall, you see, where I was going when there was a used to be group introduction of the guest at the place of the host. I found the people were really looking at the person when two qualifications were coming across. One MD, which is a doctor qualification there, and the second when someone was saying he's a CPA. Wow, wow was there. Okay, so this is anyone of you, a relative, a friend living in US, you can easily talk to them, and you can really realize what is kind of qualification. Okay. One person came to me in Lahore working in Sonari Bank. He says, "Sir, I want to advise, want to do CFA." So I said, "Listen to me, don't do CFA, do CPA." So he said, "Why?" I said, "There are two, three reasons. One is it's doable, much more doable. It gives you better edge over the CFA." I said, "I can say you that." And second is cost is also less than what you are going to spend on CFA. He listened to me, and now he qualified within a year. He was not having a accountancy background. He was simple the MBA from Faisalabad Agricultural University, and he is very successful now in the UAE. Very successful. He's running his own practice in UAE. Okay. Another thing I want to say, myself is a qualified chartered accountant. I have alhamdulillah, two sons, both are chartered accountant and both are CPA as well. Because I would request all the friends to mute their mics actually. Otherwise, there is some disturbance coming through. I request everyone to mute their mic. Okay. And whenever there will be question answer session, they can really open up at that time. Okay. So my both sons are also US CPA as well, and both are based in Canada. One is working across the border, and because of being US CPA, and I tell you now, Mia Saab said that you only have to have a needful knowledge tested in CPA. Let me expand this statement. Why they want only needful knowledge to be tested there? Because they know the person is already graduate or postgraduate, and the person already has the knowledge of math, little bit of business communication, management. They know all those IT. They have the knowledge to their graduation, so they are not bothering to test it. Like in ICAP, Pakistan, 21 papers because they are testing the math as well, they test the economics as well, they test the IT as well, okay, management as well. But they don't look into that because they say when we taken the student on board, at that time we made sure he possess the right qualification, which is the graduation, post-graduation in business-related area. When I say business-related area, it means commerce, it means accounting and finance, it is the business administration. They are called the relevant accounting qualification. Now, Mia Saab said it's short, you can pass. I can endorse that statement by my experience. I have taught about 100 students, nearly 100, maybe few less, a few plus, in Pakistan who did the CPA, and none of them was unsuccessful except one person who never took the exam of CPA, never bothered to find out the time and prepare for exam, refresh knowledge, and go for taking the exam. Okay, now another question arises. CPA is a 70, 80, 90 year, maybe 190-year-old qualification. Why we're talking about this in Pakistan now? This is very important question because you must be attending the first time this webinar and you're going to know many things first time. Why we are talking about this qualification now? Why didn't you talk about earlier about this qualification? It was so easy, so prestigious, right? And why we're talking about that? The answer is, earlier anyone who wants to do CPA were required to go to US to take the exam in US. And you know, it is a big bet, gamble. You prepare for the exam, you pay the fees, you spend your time, at the end you learn that you are not going to get the American visa to visit US and take the exam there. And then about 6-7 years back, they made their exam international. They brought it to Middle East, but again, Pakistani citizens were not allowed to go to Middle East on visit visa and take this exam. In April this year, they allowed Pakistani citizens to go to Middle East, the 4 countries of Middle East. I'll talk about those countries later on, and take the exam as a visitor on a visit visa. That's why we're talking.
करने की कोशिश कर रहा है तुम्हारी
ये मुख्तार साहब अगर अपना माइक आप म्यूट कर देंगे तो आवाज फिर आपकी से बात करेंगे. The charter content or CPA of those countries can become the US CPA. Okay, he said that, but he didn't say if you are US CPA, you can become those countries charter content or CPA without taking any exam. In most of the cases, that is the main thing. If you get a one qualification, this is then called the qualification passport. You go to Canada migrate to Canada, and Canada you don't have to do the whole system again. You just take one exam of their thing, and that also if you want to practice, if you want to do job in some bank in Canada, you don't have to take any paper to become a Canadian chartered accountant or Canadian CPA. That's the main thing. If you hold the US CPA qualification, those 8 countries qualification are open to you without any exam and maybe a single exam, okay, which is multiple choice exam. Okay. Another thing is, I tell you, ICAP is also in dialogue with the American CPA now. People normally ask me what's the value of the US CPA in Pakistan. So I normally say it's a less than Pakistani chartered accountant, because the Pakistani chartered accountant enjoys the privilege under the Company Act in Pakistan that they can only do the audit of companies in Pakistan. Okay, but you see, what they also feel, the qualification of CPA is a very good qualification for their members who can do the job and develop their career in out of country. Like 25% or 30% chartered accountant of Pakistan are working abroad, and they know if they can get a qualification like US CPA, their earning level potential will go up and their recognition will go up. And they are talking about to the institute, and institute is going into dialogue with this organization, but it's going to take 2 years before they take on board Pakistan and put in the list which Mia Sahab has shown to you as a MRA country. Now, with this background, now I start my presentation because I wanted to just emphasize particularly one thing. It's not accounting qualification, it's accounting, finance, and business qualification, and team qualification. Okay. Now, Mia Sahab said it's a simple way. Yeah, it's a very simple. Let me tell you, if you are a business graduate, you only have to take 4 paper and 1 year experience, as compared to 21 paper and 3.5 year experience in Pakistan. And you become US CPA. When you are US CPA, and you can become those 8 countries chartered accountant. I put a Scottish and Irish chartered accountant. You don't have to pass any paper. But if you want to do practice in those countries as a chartered accountant in those countries, then you have to add 2 years more experience, because 1 year experience is not enough to do practice. Otherwise, you want to do job, the 1 year experience you got at the time of becoming US CPA is sufficient for you. Become a chartered accountant in those countries and live there with the designation, which is called local designation of chartered accountant. And look at that. If these chartered accountant institute, which are MR institute, if any of their members, which Mia Sahab said, want to become the US CPA, they must have to take one paper, which is called International Qualifying Exam, IQEX. Okay, so you are CPA, you can become other countries chartered accountant or CPA by taking some paper or taking without taking any paper. And you also have the option to become global chartered management accountant by taking just paper 1 called strategic case study paper of Chartered Institute of Management Accountants of UK. And that's the qualification, okay? They map everything with you. You only have to have one key to open many doors, okay? This is what Mia Sahab said. I have concluded or added something on that. Now, then how one can achieve this qualification? Okay, my area is then how. There are 3 E's. One is the education, exam, and experience. Education is which you need to hold before you start your US CPA. And the exam is the US CPA exam. We call it uniform exam. And the experience is which you need to become the member of to call yourself CPA, because after passing exam, you cannot call yourself CPA. You have to obtain the membership certificate, and Mia Sahab use the word license. You need to have a license, right? So there are 55 states and territory in US. Okay, every state and territory has their own education requirement. Okay, some say a person should be master degree holder of US before they take exam. And some say no, he can be just a graduate with 120 credit hours. He can take the exam, but to become a member, he will add remaining missing credit hour, because you need to have 150 credit hour ultimate. So then they can add, after passing the exams of US CPA or during the process of taking exam of US CPA, the remaining credit hour. Okay. So exams are four, no matter which state you take the choose. Which state you choose, exam is same. Four exams. I'll talk about the four exams. What are those four exams? Name of those exams. What is the covered in those? But exams are objective. I can tell you, they are objective type exams. They are on computer. Okay. So I will explain the objective type later on. Experience is also state-wise different. Once you pass the exam, you need to show them the experience. Experience can be before starting US CPA, during the process of US CPA, after qualifying the US CPA. Very flexibility provided by each state. But the problem is, some states say the experience has to be in a public accounting practice. Some say it can be in industry, business, banks, but should be supervised by the US CPA.
Sorry, sir, can't hear you.
I think there is some disturbance in the connection right now.
Mia Ahmed Farhan sir, can you please take over?
Let me see what is the update from Makbul Saab side, and then I'll get back to you shortly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. There was some, I think, a drop of that. Okay. Okay. So there are four areas. One is the first organization you have to. One is the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant. This is basically a professional organization of CPA in US. And they have two functions. One is that they develop the exam and they validate the score which candidate get before the result is announced. That's the two functions they have. Second is the 55 states and territories board of accountants. They are actually which issue the lessons. Can you hear me? See me?
Excuse me, sir. आपकी आवाज तो आ रही है सर, मगर जो प्रेजेंटेशन थी मेरे ख्याल में वो आपको दोबारा ऑन करनी पड़ेगी जी.
अच्छा, मुझे ज्वाइन करना पड़ेगा. एक मिनट मुझे दे दें सिर्फ. मैं इसे आउट होकर ज्वाइन करता हूँ. मेरा फायदा. Just 1 minute. I think if I share my screen, it will be okay. I think I didn't share my screen. I'm sharing it now. It should be okay, I think, after that. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So I was here. There are 55 states and a territory, and they are responsible to issue lessons to the CPA to work and practice. Okay, and they use the exams which will be held by NASBA and PROMETE to register the people. as their license holder. And NASBA is a association of state boards which coordinate their activities and maintain national candidate database. Whoever want to take exam has to be registered with the NASBA as well. And then the Prometric. Prometric is a testing center. They receive the exam from AICPA and they send it to relevant center electronically, and then they seek the appointment for taking exam. They invigilate the exam and send the result back to the American CPA, AICPA. Result is not announced at the same time, but result is announced within 6 to 7 days after taking the exam. Sometimes you get the result within 4 days. So this is the concept. So I'm going to explain everything related to as a candidate, how one has to move. That's already covered. Okay. As I said, the education requirement is unique, but normally 150 credit hour, which is a 5-year university or college education, which is a 4-year degree and 1 year the master. Okay, bachelor and master. So you need to have a 24 accounting hour and 24 business credit hour. When we say 24 accounting hour, which means credit hour, which means you need to have a state subject relating to accounting in your education, and 24 8 subjects relating to business. Let me say what is included in accounting. It's a principal accounting, introduction to accounting, it is a financial accounting, it is a cost accounting, it is a management accounting, it is a financial management, it is tax, it is audit. These all, you need to have 24 credit hour out of these, right? But few states allow you to take exam with 120 credit hour only. And also, they allow you to take exam with only 12 to 15 accounting credit hour. I looked at in Pakistan, almost every university is a BBA program, and I found they have 15 credit hours, and sometimes including specialization, they have 24 credit hour in accounting. Otherwise, normally they have 15 credit hour. Otherwise, 21. Sorry. Normally, if they have certain subject of accounting in their specialization, then the people get the 21 credit hour. The only difference is with the 12 and 15 credit hour, you are ending up with a few states only. But if you have a 21 accounting credit hour, you have a broader option to choose the state. Okay, exams are same. State doesn't matter at all, I tell you. Except exams are uniform. Your competence is same. The why states matter? Sometimes people like to have the name of the state with them, which is the more prominent in the world. People know it very well. Like my son told me, I will only do US CPA if I'm eligible to take exam with California State. So I made him eligible because California State was requiring 24 credit hour and under 50 total credit hour. So I got him a master degree in accounting from Pakistan, and then he was eligible to do that. Second, if you choose a California state to take exam, you don't have to go to California. Even you go to US to take exam, you can take the California state exam in New York, in Chicago, in Detroit, and maybe in Dubai. Okay. So for taking exam, you don't have to go to state. If you want to work after getting US CPA, any part of America, North America, Far East, Middle East, then it doesn't matter which state's CPA you are. But if you want to practice, then you need a CPA of that state. Let's say I go to US and settle myself in Michigan. So to do my accounting practice, I need a Michigan license. Then I have to be CPA of Michigan. But no problem, I can transfer my qualification from the California state to Michigan by paying just $45 and filling up an application. right? Because they know exam qualification is the same. So Michigan will receive my results and my record, and they will process my application for CPA license for Michigan State. I will become the member of Michigan State. And that's why I tell you, okay, certain states also allow you to take the US CPA exam, even your bachelor degree is not yet complete. It's a 18 credit hour short. I mean, about 6 months before completing your degree, uh, you can start taking your US CPA exam. Okay, but there are some states, 5, 6 maximum, not more than that. Okay, and this uh, link has a process for becoming US CPA, which I'm going to explain you. There are 4 steps there. One is, as an international student, you have to meet the education requirement of starting CPA journey. You need to have your education evaluated by some American evaluation agency. Every state has listed the agency which they accept for evaluation. There's the NIES as well, which is NASPA International Education Evaluation Service as well. NASPA can do, other agencies can do. What they will do, they will issue you a letter saying, yes, you hold US equivalent graduation or master degree, and you have total so many credit hours. Out of that, so many are accounting, so many are business. They only do this evaluation. And this, you use this evaluation and apply for the exam. Okay, evaluation take, let me tell you, evaluation takes 5 to 8 weeks after the submission of your document. You pay the fees online when you fill an application for evaluation, and the fees is nearly $250 to $300 to have your evaluation. And what document you have to provide when you fill online application, make a payment? They ask you to send us the document by 2 ways. One is you get it, your photocopy of degree and transcript attested from your issuing university, not HEC, not HEC. Like your IBA department at the University of Punjab can attest that and degree and transcript and give it to you. Or your candidate number, though university can email them. That is also acceptable and save the courier cost. So it has to be your A-level document if you have completed A-level, not FAFS, because A-level has a credit hour. Each A-level has 10 credit hours. And then your degree program credit hours. Okay. So you have to provide A-levels with the transcript and degree, attested, master and bachelor. And you can send them by courier, collecting from the university because you feel it would be a quicker way. Do it, have it tested, and put it along with your one application form, which you will get the copy of which once you fill your application, submit your application, make a payment, you can attach that and send them. Or you can request your university to email them. So both ways work. So it takes 5 to 8 weeks evaluation. Once you get the evaluation, then next job is to go to state accountancy board you have selected. We advise people which evaluation company they should choose and which state they should choose out of 55, keeping with the education. Because it's a very expert job to tell the person, asking him which state he himself is interested, then evaluating his education from that point of view and giving our own opinion and saying, no, this state won't work, go to that state. Okay. Once you apply to that state, you pay about $100 to $150 for the registration as a candidate, and they register you. This is online application as well. And your evaluation copy has already been with the state, because when we have our evaluation, we have to name the state. Okay, your evaluation copy is with them. You fill the application, put the evaluation reference number there, and then they register you and issue you a letter called authorization to test. And then you go to NASPA. NASPA, you apply and you pay the fees to NASBA for each exam you want to take. Let me tell you, on average, the fees per paper is exam fees per paper is about 130 to 250 to 230 to $250 per paper. There are 4 papers. If you are taking exam in US, then this is the fees. But if you are taking the exam internationally, then you have paid the international testing fees as well, which is about $350 per exam per paper, right? About $1,400 you pay. The convenience fees, I call it, because you don't have to go US, you don't have to live a 1 month or so, right? And to take your exam, heavy cost of traveling, heavy cost of living there if you don't have relative and friend there. You can take in UAE, go there for 3-4 days, take exam. Next day you reach there. 3-4 days later you take the second exam. Okay, there is no date sheet of the exam. You develop your own date sheet. Exams are held all the time in the year, except last 20 days of each quarter. Like the January to March, 10 March to 31st March, there will be no exam. 11th March to 31st. Up to 10th March, from the 1st January, each day the exam you can choose. So what normally I advise and people do, they go there, 2-3 days later they take the first exam, and then they keep a 3-4 more days in between taking the second exam so they can revise everything before taking the exam. We as a student know if there's a time gap between the one paper to other paper, life is much simpler. And that's the case there as well. Okay? So once the NASBA receives the fees from you, exam fees, they issue you a document called Notice to Schedule Exam, NTS. And it has a number. By taking that letter, you go online to the Promatic website and you choose the location and the date where you want to take exam, and you book your exam. And this way, according to that choice you taken, you take your exam. And once you pass all the 4 exams, then you look for the experience. If you already don't have experience, and you may need to add more education if you don't already hold under 50 credit hours. So you need to add more credit hours, and this is where you become. So you start your study with the Becker after getting your evaluation. But if we say that you are going to be eligible for exam as per your evaluation report, you can start your study early even. And we give you the 2 subjects. And if your evaluation not favorable, positive, we will refund your fee. We refund the fee. It happened yet. It happened. It has not happened yet. Okay. Every student will say you will be eligible. It turned out to be eligible. So they can save 7-8 weeks time for preparation. Okay. Another thing I tell students, I say, you apply for US visa to take exam in US. If you get the visa, you will get the 5-year visa of US. Good luck. Very good. But if you don't get the visa of US because it's believed that you will not return back and your economic ties and social ties in Pakistan are not that strong, then you anyway have the option to take the exam in which called International Center, which is UAE, and talk about other center later on. Okay. These states do not allow you to take them internationally. I call them a very biased states. They mostly like their own states people to become the CPA or American to become a CPA. Mostly they like the states people to become CPA. So they don't hold the exam internationally. And we don't care about these 9 states because because we know we have other states. None of the state in this list is a very important state, I tell you honestly from my point of view. So I have no worry about if they are not available internationally. And these are the testing center, okay? US is a testing center. Everyone can go and take exam in US, okay? And the Europe is a testing center for countries, England, Scotland, Ireland, Germany. Anyone can visit there and take exam. Now, if you want to take an exam in Japan, you have to be Japanese citizen or long-term resident or US citizen long-term resident. If you want to take exam in UAE, there are 4 countries: Bahrain, Lebanon, Kuwait, and UAE. Middle East, sorry, not UAE. So 4 countries. Middle East, mein, there are 4 countries: Bahrain, Lebanon, Kuwait, and UAE. And here also they made a list of the country whose citizens and long-term residents can take the exam. And Pakistan is a part of that now, which came here in April this year. Why we came April this year? Because a lot of Indians were coming, because India was allowed earlier to come to UAE on a visit visa and take exam. Okay. There was a long queue of the candidates. They were not accepting any other country. We are chasing them for the last 4 years. Allow Pakistan, Middle East. But they said, when India will not be there, we will allow you. And now in April, 8 cities of India, they made exam center. And now citizens, residents of India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Myanmar, Bhutan, they can go there in India, take exam there. And now Pakistan door was open for Middle East. And I see it's a golden opportunity for graduates and postgraduates to achieve this premium qualification, which is the best accounting, finance, and business qualification in the world. Okay. Uniform exam, there are 4 exams, I tell you. And they are objective type exams. None of the exam is a long question or paper exam. When we say objective type, so they are certain 50% MCQ and 50% is a task-based simulation. You don't have to solve long questions. Okay, I'll explain you what a task-based simulation. What are the 4 papers there? Auditing and attestation, business environment and concept, financial accounting and reporting, and regulation. By name, you are aware of 2 papers. One is audit, the second is financial accounting and reporting. But 2 papers I have to explain you what is included in these 2 papers, like business, environment, and concept. What is included there? There is 1 chapter of economics, 1 chapter of IT, and 1 chapter of corporate governance, and there are 1 chapter of management accounting, and 1 chapter of 2 chapter of financial management, and they call it a business environment concept. And what is in regulation? 3 components in regulation. One is the US federal tax, US business law, and ethics there, accountant and business ethics. They are the 3 things. Another thing unique about these exams is you get, in each exam you get 5 testlets. Testlet means you sit on computer to take exam, your time is started, you get the testlet 1 containing 36 multiple choice questions, 36 multiple choice questions. I'm just going to explain audit, and same way would be other aspects. You need to solve these 36 multiple choice questions first. You cannot start the book 2. Book 2 will be available when you submit the book 1. The question arises, why? Artificial intelligence in the exam. When you do 36 multiple choice questions, the system analyzes your strength and weakness in the subject and give you the Tesla 2 based on that. When you submit the Tesla 2, again the assessment is made and you are given the booklet 3, which contains 2 task-based simulations. What is task-based simulation? They give you a scenario, and then they don't give you multiple choice question after the scenario. They give you a scenario, you read through the scenario, they say, work out the goodwill. It's a business combination, work out the goodwill. And pass the journal entry. And then all possible debit, all possible credits are already there. You have to choose the relevant debit and credit and calculate the amount by using the calculator available in the exam system and put up the figure there. In this way, you do 2 simulations and submit those. Artificial intelligence comes in, assess you there, and give you a 3rd test test, next test test, and give you next test test. In this way, 4-hour exam is done. And that's where you take all the exams. On the date you have selected, I told you, you can select your own dates. You can keep the margin between the two exams as much you like. Like my son, when he took my classes, he never studied thereafter. But after 9 months or 10 months, he went to Canada. So I said, "Beta, take the exam." So he booked one exam. After 15 days, he studied for 15 days, taken the exam. After taking the exam, he booked the next test for 15 days later. And then third test 15 days later. And then fourth test 15 days later. And he passed within 2 months all the exams, right? He started from 1st April and 31st May, he got all the 4 exams through, right? So this is the way to do it. And we can advise the students and candidates to how to work smartly. And this is what they are. Only one paper, business environment concept. This includes just 15% written communication, which you have to type using the word. They want to assess your communication. What type of simple question are they? Say one company has a new board appointed, board of directors, and they want a letter to be sent to the board director about their responsibility as a director relating to conflict of interest. And you please write a letter to the secretary of the company, which he should share with the new elected board members. And the second, there are 2 questions always. And second is they say, okay, one, the chairman of the board is very concerned about the cost of compliance with the code of corporate governance. You write a letter explaining the pros and cons and the cost comparison of corporate governance compliance. As you write a letter to the chairman of the board, and this is the 2 things you get it. 55% passing score you need to pass this paper. Very high marks people may say, but let me share you with the result. This is the result. I have not seen any accountancy business institute, including CFA, where result rate is such high. 2018 audit, they have around 51% pass rate. Business economic environment concept, they have about close to 60%. And financial accounting reporting 46%. This is very common subject. Everyone studying financial accounting, even chartered accountant, everyone. But you see the lowest result in financial accounting and reporting. It's regulation, which is a brand new paper for foreigners. Like there's a US tax, a US business law, a US ethics, but the pass rate is 30, 53%. If you look at the 2019, compare with that, almost same, rather better percentages in the next year. Okay? So this is what I'm saying is, the Mia Sahab was saying, simple and easy. My son did 4 qualifications. Let me tell you, he did ACCA, he did England CA, he did Canadian CA, remaining paper, and he did US CPA. And he found the US CPA going through much simpler and systematic. When I asked him, compare, so he said, much systematic and much simpler. Only need to work on the smart line, which Becker will provide you, how to work on smart line. Okay, here you applied for the, in June, you applied for the, to the state to become candidate after your evaluation. And they provided you by July, as I told you, they take 2 to 3 weeks. They applied, they gave you the authorization to test. And you paid the fees to Promatic, and that fees payment is valid for 6 months. And you can schedule your exam anytime in 6 months. And you can change the date 30 days in advance if you are not happy with the date without paying anything. Or you can change the date even 5 days before the exam, just paying $35 for each schedule. But once you pass one exam, there are 4 exams. When you pass one exam, from that date, within the 18 months, you have to pass the remaining 3 as well. Otherwise, this paper which you pass more than 18 months back will be lapse, will not be there for you. You have to retake it. So 18 months is a window. Very valid time. I haven't seen any of my students getting a time bar, unable to complete the exam. I know one of my students who was working with the Union TV network, and he was so busy, so busy. After taking 3 exams, passing 3 exams in first attempt, he failed one regulation. He wanted to go back and take regulation. In those days, only US was the exam center, but he never was given the holiday leave by the company. So he was very close to 18 months. He was worried and said, I want to go to US for just 5-6 years. Okay, so I said, please go. He went there and taken the exam. He passed the exam within 18 months. So we don't have any example of student who was time barred. So why Becker? I tell you why Becker. Becker student pass rate is double of the non-Becker student. There are many education providers, but the Becker is the best. Anyone have done CPA, ask him, he'll say Becker, right? Over 90% of the awards are won by every year. Every year there's an award given. 10 to 11 awards are given to the high performers. And 90%, over 90% goes to the Becker students. And Becker has prepared over 1 million candidates for CPA exam in the 5 past decades since Becker started its operation. And more than 2,000 top organizations are Becker clients, including the big 4 accountancy firm. Rather, 100 top accountancy firms of the world are Becker clients, where their employees and students take it. And now Becker study, there are multiple formats. They can be class, live class. They can be, you are provided all the books, all lecture, all system to practice, everything is provided. And you can do yourself, or it can be blended. You can do yourself, and once in a week or after fortnight, you join the group of with the facilitator, teacher, who take up your question, explain, and just 1 hour, 1.5 hours spent, much smart way we work, and then you move to the next exam. Okay, and always exam contents are up to date. I tell you an example. On 30th September, one student paid me the fees to register him, and I got a email from Hong Kong, because the marketing team, technical team was based in Hong Kong. I got an email saying, Mohammed, 1st October, syllabus is changing. Any exam taken up from 1st October, the changing. And we are updating the content today and issuing a new book. And all students have been sent in their system the updated content, right? So that when I got this information, I hold for 1 day booking the order for that student, because I know, let me go on 2nd October and then place a book order, and he will get the updated book. So he doesn't have to get the addendum or something supplementary. Okay. So there are a lot of skill practice videos, skill master videos, lecture videos, multiple choice question, mock exam, 3-part paper you get, and there are progress tests. This is all is there. Okay, the complete set is available to the students. Okay, this is the time how much you have to spend. I tell you, lecture time nearly take for all 4 paper 120 hours. Okay, so remaining, we advise students how to work smartly and how to pass. As Mia Sab said, some students can do it within 6 months. But my realistic estimate is 8 months at a time for all the 4 papers. But I also advise the people, don't accumulate all. Take the 2 papers after 3-4 months, and then prepare for the next 2 papers and take them after 3-4 months. And within 8 months, you complete your thing. Okay. 2 things very unique in Becker. This is also artificial intelligence based. One is the pre-assessment. When you start any module of any subject, like this is F8. F8 means financial accounting, module 8, chapter 8. Okay. When you start that, then you take few exams. Okay. Few tests, maybe 10 or 12 multiple choice question from the area. And then the system advise you where to start your study. Whether you should start studies right from watching the lecture. I forget about the lecture in this chapter. Just go and do the skill master, practice and multiple choice question and simulation rather than wasting time on studying 4 hours watching the lecture. It advise you on that basis. Also, the final product here is a personalized review session. Like F5, Financial Accounting 5, you completed it, and you can say, I want to take a review. So system knows your strength and weakness while you are working through that. Okay. On the basis of that, system gives you a test. Right? If you are okay in certain component, system will say they are okay, but these 2 areas are weak in this chapter of you. You only work through that and then take another personal review. So you take in this way and you are comfortable that doing very well, and it gives you the boost in confidence and to take that step. Okay, that's the second step. Okay. Now, before I ask you to raise any question if you have, let me tell you the cost of this whole program. The total cost of this program, I can share with you the breakup as well. It is $4,500 everything. Evaluation is included, state registration is included, your normal examination fees is included, international testing fees is including, and Becker study material is also, everything of the system is included. We call premier package. Let me tell you one thing. 4,500, I want to justify it. It's not a cost. Accountancy, finance. If you want to go to US and take just a bachelor degree, every year you pay $35,000. Master degree 1 year, you end up paying $45,000, $40,000. It's just $4,500 and giving you the qualification which you do even after getting American master degree. Okay, whoever can afford, that's the best qualification to add. And second thing, I tell you, out of the 4,500, the Becker's price included in there for premier package for all the 4 subjects is just 2,000 to 19. 2,000 is the price. Whoever attending this webinar, if anyone come forward from that, so 1,100 will be reduced and 1,900 will be the total cost of that package. So remaining go to evaluation, the fee. Let me tell you, major chunk go to the fees. About 1,000 is the normal fees and 1,400 is the international testing fee. 2,400 okay, that's the cost concept. Okay, and we have an office. This is the contact detail of the lady who deals with the inquiry. But most of the inquiry will become technical. They land on my table because I have about 12 years experience related to this US CPA thing. The first thing is people send the documents, share the document which are the transcript of their qualification. And we add accounting qualification, how many credit, and we say, yes, you are eligible. Once the person is eligible, then we say, now prepare for filing your application for evaluation. Okay. And we take $100 to start this process. And which is not the additional cost. It is always adjusted against the cost of the Becker study material. Like if the price is going to be 1,900 for you, if you pay 100 at the beginning, and then 1,800 further to be paid later on. And you can do it in 2 installments. But then this cost will be $50 extra. Like 1,900, if you take half of the courses, it comes to 950. But you pay 1,000 because 2 times from US, your books has to come hard books. Remaining all is the system. If you pay me the price, I can add you for study just within 15 minutes. You will be live and go for your study. But your hard book, your e-books will be available, but your hard books for all 4 subjects has to come from US within next 8 to 10 working days. So, right? This is from my side. And now I open the floor for questions. And I forgot to tell you, anyone who want to raise question can put in the box so we can answer those questions first, and then we can take the personal question from the people as well. Mia Saab, do you want to say anything?
Sir, really grateful to you. Thank you very much for such a nice presentation. And in fact, to the audience, I'm really sorry. I was in fact committed in some shifting of my house. That's why like I could not manage to introduce Maqbool Saab in a proper way. In fact, Maqbool Saab is a big name of our Chartered Accountancy fraternity. And he's, mashallah, a learned chartered accountant, and he's like associated with this educational program for like decades. And might be most of you people would be knowing that he and his services towards this chartered accountancy profession are very well known in our like accountancy profession. So I trust you people would have a good time in like having this orientation session. And please, you're most welcome if you have any question, any ambiguity regarding this course, and anything you want to like even share with us in terms of your experience in your profession. So yeah, please, most welcome to discuss at this forum, please.
Lina, do you have any question in chat box?
सर आपका बहुत शुक्रिया जी सर आपका बहुत शुक्रिया आपने इतना अच्छे तरह से एक्सप्लेन कर दिया और जो कॉस्ट के भी ब्रेकअप्स थे वो भी आपने बताए और सारे वैल्यूएशन से लेके कॉस्ट तक का तो मेरा ख्याल है बहुत शायद ही किसी का कोई सवाल हो स्टिल मैं देख रहा हूँ जी अमजद भट्टी साहब मौजूद हैं हमारे साथ जो कि हमारे आईबीए के बहुत बड़े नाम हैं जी और उनका भी शुक्रिया हमारे फैकल्टी से करंट फैकल्टी से डॉक्टर सानिया जहरा भी मौजूद थी और उनका भी शुक्रिया जी अगर ये लोग कुछ ऐड करना चाहें तो अमजद भट्टी साहब सर
माइक खोलें माइक अपना anyone who want to raise question or comment, please unmute yourself, and then you will be able to raise the question.
Sir, I have a question regarding the degree we have, the MBA in finance. Will it be qualified, or we have to send the transcript to you so that we can later on come to know that either we qualify or no?
If I see the transcript, I can tell you by for sure that you are eligible or not, because then it will be a proper assessment, okay? And that's a free of cost. That's nothing, but it gives us a comfort. We are taking the person rightly forward. So there is an email address, and I can put it there on the screen. One can note that. So there you can send it, and please do write there you attended the IBA session. So my staff member would be knowing that. Okay, another thing I tell you, if someone doesn't have the required study, we can advise them 1 or 2 courses. They only join any university program. They don't have to complete that. Part completed transfer will also help us if the courses are short. One thing I can say, economics, accounting, finance, BBA, MBA, MCOM, BCom, they are all going to be eligible, inshallah. Yes, I was seeing among the participants 2 people who are holding economics, right? So In the economics, we have to see what subject they have covered. So there's no problem if 3-4 subjects of accounting related can be added there. We can assess that how they can easily add those, so they can move forward. But I can tell you, sure, I'm in Pakistan since 1986, qualified in UK and came to Pakistan. And Pakistan, that time, many of you know, even still people say it's impossible to pass chartered accountant. So I came to Pakistan 1986. I realized when the first result was declared, I saw only one person qualified from the whole of the Lahore. That was shocking for me. I came from the country where 55% was the pass rate of chartered accountant. So I said, which kind of country is this, where less than 0.5% is the rate to qualify chartered accountant? We started Alhamdulillah colleges, college here, books written, we written the book. And ultimately, now the result is in CA, about 10-12% now. We have reached that, okay, in Pakistan. So basically, point is, we work a lot of things by passion also, for service as well, right? So it's a blend of service and you can say commerce as well, right? But it's a good blend of that. And people who know Mia Saab, so I think his education is, if you have seen him, so you can just reduce him by 10-12%, and you can say at least Mohammed Makul will be also that kind of person, okay? Because we believe whether sometimes people come to me, I said, no, you are not eligible for that, go for that. Right? That time when this guy, which I referred about the Middle East, came to me, we were offering CFA as well, right? Stella CFA in Pakistan. But I looked at the transcript and said, guy, where you want to go? Just maybe you stuck up in second part or third part, definitely. Why not come to this? Only 4 papers. So basically, we advise according to the person's the requirement and status and the level. So please send us the transcript.
So second question I have that regarding the fees amount you have already mentioned. Will it be for the whole course or it will be by paper, something like that?
No, it's a whole course. $4,500 is the complete thing, which covers your education evaluation, you cover registration with the state as a candidate, you cover your examination. Even I said there are 2 examination fees. One is you pay normal fees, the other pay you international testing. Normal fees just 900, 1,000 for 4 papers. Each paper is a $230 to $250. And the international fees, if you happen to take exam in Middle East, it's 1,400 about, so which is 350 per paper additional. Even including that, it comes to $4,500. And some people may not have $4,500 upfront. Then they have to incur the evaluation fees, and there's no registration fees yet, just evaluation fees, and they can take half of the course of Becker. In this become installment wise, okay? So when maybe 2-3 months later, you pay the examination candidate registration fees, and you pay 2 papers examination. In this way, if you are doing a course over the 8 months, your this cost burden spread over the 8 months.
Okay, but if I go for the installment option, the fees will remain the same, or there will be a slight increase in the fees as well?
$100. $100. Only
Okay.
$100.
Okay, I have another question because I'm right now in Saudi Arabia. So about the classes and the material, how I need to take that one, and can you please a bit explain about this thing?
Let me tell you, in Saudi Arabia, you are in Saudi Arabia, and you are in the business field or in the accounting finance field, and you know the value of CPA USA. This is one thing in which sure I can say. And you would be knowing that US CPA among the all accounting and business qualifications is a top qualification. Okay, this is one. Second, if you take the same course which I'm offering, the Morgan International is our partner in Saudi Arabia. They offer this same program which we offer for $1,900, $2,000. They offer for $5,000 there in Saudi Arabia, Middle East. Bahrain, Kuwait, Lebanon, nearly 5,000 lakhs. Okay, so this is what I can say. Being a Pakistani, I say we negotiate the best price for Pakistan. Why the price in Pakistan is low? Why the high in Middle East? The reason is purchasing power in Pakistan is very. We were able to convince them and say, don't charge us the price more than India. And you know, India is the best country in the world which negotiates very well. Okay, I tell you honestly, we are head-to-head enemy, but I tell you, they are very smart when it comes to dealing. So I said, show me the Indian price first. They showed me the Indian prices. I said, no way we can go more than that. No way, right? So it took me 1 year because they gave us high prices for Pakistan. Right? But then we ended up telling them, so this is in the whole world, better lowest fees is in Pakistan at this moment.
Actually, I was looking for the classes and the other things. I will be attending here in Saudi Arabia, or it will be online or something like that.
What do you want to look at?
I'm talking about the classes and the study material. So, just like the Morgan here in Saudi Arabia, so they have some, I think, different session in different cities like Riyadh, Jeddah, and somewhere. So,
Yeah, they hold there, but you will get the same material from us, 100% same material, because they are also the partner of Becker. We are also the partner of Becker. Okay, so same material, same system.
so okay, basically the material I will receive, but it's a self study, or there will be online sessions as well.
But they don't need any class. They can do it by self-study. But the people coming from the academic background, like MCOM, BCom, MBA, BBA, MS Accounting and Finance, they need, right? For them, we provide them the material, which includes the lecture. They can go through it, and we can have a weekly or fortnightly session with them. Okay? So look at the difficulty they had, because all lecture there, they can re-review it, they can re-review it. Even then, there's a point they can list down, and we can have a Zoom meeting with the person, maybe one-to-one, and sort out those issues. So there won't be any lacking there. Whether you are sitting in the class in Saudi Arabia or you are connecting with us through Zoom, WhatsApp,
Thank you, sir. So nice of you for the information, and
my
thanks for Mia Saab, Mia Waqas Saab, and Mia Amir Farhan Saab as well. He still remember me as a student of his class.
Irfan, thank you very much. Really, I really appreciate your questions. Even and
Thank you, sir. So,
it's something like appreciable that you are still keen to study more. So
inshallah.
appreciations for you, Irfan. God bless
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Before closing, I want to make one conclusion based on my role as a manager of 20, 30 years. I like to make a very bold statement. So people should not go, they should wait for that statement. Okay. Yes. Any other question? Give me a thought.
Ji sir, I trust we are done with our presentation, and most of the questions have already been taken and very comprehensively addressed by you. And Mia Waqas Saab and Asif Gilani Saab, you please tell us that if there's anything more from your side, if you want to discuss something at this platform. Otherwise, we are available. Anyone from IBA and IBA alumni who wants to discuss more about this qualification, we are available. Even we can hold seminars as well if required for the senior students of in a way I would say that contribution from our side towards the society, being an educationalist.
that we should guide properly to our youth and the people who are in the business or work and keen to study and improve their knowledge base. So this is our duty, in fact, to like provide you this orientation. So we are
Yes,
available all the time.
I
Yes, sir.
want to say something. But
Yes,
in
please.
Pakistan, one thing is very seriously missing. That's called career path. Okay, and I found a chartered accountant because of someone gave me the advice in my life, and I the process and became a chartered accountant. Okay, uh, this career counseling is very important. What I can say is, if the people who are the part of the faculty of IBA, if they would be interested for their final semester people, maybe BBA and MBA, we can personally go there along with the flyers, brochures, everything, and we can have a desk to advise the people, make a presentation, advise them. Also, faculty can also be part of that attendance, because as a faculty member, they also have the responsibility, a role to counsel the people, right? You might have no name, the Bhatt Sahab, Zahir Bhatt Sahab, okay? Young guy, and was मैंने कहा ओके कहाँ से करूँ, कंपनी से मेरा मकसद था, उनका बाहर जाके करो, मेरे पैसे लो, बाहर जाओ, ये करके आओ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ फायदा, कौन भी फायदा. Believe me, that guidance hit my right point, and I just started to advise it ना किसी को. तो वो अगर फैकल्टी के कुछ लोग हों जो इस बात को अरेंज कर सकते हो, तो उनकी उसी में एक स्टेटमेंट जो कि मैनेजमेंट का रोल प्ले करते हैं, मैंने अभी तक जो I came to a conclusion. One should not delay three things in the life, right? None of them should be delayed. First is, I want the one first. One is the marriage. Okay? Unnecessarily delaying it has a heavy cost. It never comes. You have to define what is the right thing. And the third thing, if someone is thinking to migrate, never delay in filling up your application. If you think it's good for you, otherwise forget it. Be Pakistani, stay in Pakistan. Suffer in Pakistan, enjoy in Pakistan. Suffer in Pakistan, enjoy in Pakistan. Okay? If you are thinking the immigration is a right for you and your family, then do it in time. Okay? I saw many people got immigration Canada at the wrong time. Right? And they regret. Right? I saw people immigration at the right time when jobs are open for them. Because if you are 40 plus, forget about the job market. So think never delay. Okay? Marriage, top up qualification, and immigration if you are interested. With this, I want to thank all the participants who are here. Okay? And who the organizer. All of
you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Vikas. Thank you very much, Asif Saab, and all the alumni, office bearers. So nice of you. Thank you very much.
सर आप लोगों का बहुत शुक्रिया जी, थैंक यू सो वेरी मच जी, एंड थैंक यू, बहुत शुक्रिया मकबूल साहब का जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बातें हमें बताई, एंड इंशाल्लाह जैसे उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया है we're looking forward in the seminar as well. और अभी मेरी कल इंशाल्लाह डायरेक्टर आईबीए से मीटिंग है, मैं उसके अंदर लाजमी इस बात को डिस्कस करूंगा कि जी हम इस फाइनल सेमेस्टर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए एक सेमिनार कंडक्ट करा सकें ताकि ये जो प्रोफेशनल इनरिचमेंट है इसको हम आगे
बहुत
लेके
बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया वकास साहब। थैंक यू वेरी मच जी। अल्लाह हाफिज।
Thank you, sir. Allah Hafiz.
Allah.
अल्लाह हाफिज जी।